Hi, we're back and going to do another exercise class for those of you that have a little limited mobility. I'm going to demonstrate some exercises that can be done in standing, but they can also be done in a chair. So we'll show both versions. When I'm standing, can have the back of the chair as a little bit of balance. I'm also close to the wall, so I've got lots of things that can help me as needed. What we're going to work on first is some mobility of the feet. When we're walking, it's really important that the feet have the ability to push off. And you can see from my back foot how I've got this hinging action that has to happen at the big toe joint. So we're going to practice that. Feet can be down onto the floor, and I'm just bending one knee and lifting one heel and then placing it back down. I'm going to do the other side. Bend at the hip and knee, lift the heel, place it back down. I'll show you from the side. So I'm practicing almost this rolling action through the foot and then rolling of the foot back down and just alternating sides, hanging on to something if I need to for balance. And this is also something that can be very simply done sitting in the chair. So sitting up tall, just practicing doing this motion of rolling through the foot, lifting the heel and lowering it down. And as I do this, I'm also trying to lift the heel as high as I can. So hinging and bending at the big toe joint to my maximum ability. Let's do 2 more times, whether you're sitting or standing. And then let yourself rest. I'll come back to standing to demonstrate the next one, but you could also do this in sitting. So we're going to add on to this movement of pushing off of the foot. I'm going to lift my heel off, the same as I just did, but now I'm going to keep pushing and bring my leg up to tabletop, which is 90 degrees at the hip and knee, or as high as I can, and then I roll my foot back down. I'll do the other side, lifting the heel, pushing off the big toes, lifting the leg up in front of me, and then letting the foot roll back down. I'll show you from the side. Lifting the heel, bringing the knee up in front of me, and then putting the toes back down, rolling the heel down, alternating sides. So if I'm standing, I could do this hanging on to the chair. I could also do it facing the wall, lifting the knee up towards the wall, and then placing the foot back down, rolling through the foot first, lifting, and then coming back down. Or I'm following along in the chair. Lifting the heel, pushing the foot off the floor, trying to lift the leg off of the floor or the foot off the floor. This can be tricky in sitting, so as you're lifting the heel and trying to lift the whole foot off, if you can't quite get it off, that's okay. You're still working all of the muscles to try and do the lift, and you're being tall through the body and the trunk, giving yourself lots of support. Last one, and then let yourself come on back up. So we've worked on the push-off part of the walking. Now we need to work on maybe having to take a step to the side. So we're going to practice doing a side step and then back to the middle, side step, then back to the middle. I'll show you in standing, then I'll show you on the chair. So I'm going to bend my standing leg as I reach my other leg out to the side. Then I come back up to stand tall. Bend my standing leg. Now I'm reaching my other leg out to the side and coming back up nice and tall. I'm going to alternate sides. I have as much balance support as I need. If I don't need any support, I have my hands by my side, or maybe the hands are out a little bit to help me with balance. So I'm doing a little squat on my standing leg as I reach the other leg out to the side. Okay, keep going. If you're standing, if you're sitting, we're doing a similar action. I'm reaching one leg out to the side and then bringing it back to the middle. I'm just going to switch my chair so you can see that a little bit better. So I'm sitting near the edge of the seat, and I'm just bringing one leg out to the side and then bringing it back into the middle. A few reasons why this is an important movement. As we're turning, maybe we have to switch directions as we're walking, and we need to have the hip mobility to turn and open. This is also really important for getting in and out of the car. So even if we have a habit of bringing both legs out to the side, we still need to have that ability to move the hips in and out. So let's do a couple more of these, sitting or standing, reaching out to the side, coming back to the middle. Last one. And then let yourself rest. Well, come on back up to stand or stay seated in your chair. We're going to work a little bit on reaching the leg forward. So I'm going to do, again, a little bit of a squat with my standing leg, and then my reaching leg is going to come in front. Then I go up nice and tall. A little bit of a squat or knee bend as I reach forward, and then bring myself up nice and tall. Keep alternating sides. Breathing as you move. So I'm going to breathe in with one direction or one movement, and breathe out with the other. This is something we have to do when we go up and down the stairs. So we're bending one knee as we're reaching the other foot in front of us. 4 more times. Keep going with that. I'll show you the chair version. So I'm just sitting near the edge of the chair, and I'm just reaching one leg straight and touching, and then bringing it back. So I've just taken away some of the balance challenge and the endurance of the legs, but I'm still practicing this reach and return. We'll do a few more for those of you that are in the chair. 2 more times. And then let yourself just rest. Coming back up to stand, we're going to do a stretch for the hamstring muscle. So I'm going to go into that same position that I was in, where I've bent one knee and reaching the other one forward, but now I'm going to hinge forward at the hips. So I'll show you what it looks like from the side. Got one leg straight in front of me. Maybe I'm going to turn to face the wall so that I can give myself some support, and then I'm getting a nice stretch through the back of the hamstring. If I'm close to the wall, I could even prop my toes up on the wall and then bend forward until I feel a stretch through the leg. I'll let you stay there as I come to the chair to demonstrate how to do this in sitting. Straightening the leg, toes come up, then I'm going to hinge forward at the hips to feel a nice stretch through my hamstring. Okay, everybody can switch to the other side. It's also nice, if you're doing this standing, to come to your chair and just try it in seated. You might find that you can get into a little better stretch, or it's something that you could incorporate into some of your seated activities that you do during the day, whether you're at a computer or just sitting watching a show. Let's take a few more breaths on this side. And then let yourself come on back. We're all going to be in the chair for this one, and I do want you to scoot your bum back a little bit so you have some support. We're going to practice doing a knee to chest stretch. So I'm going to grab either behind the back of the leg or below the knee, and I'm going to pull my knee to my chest and just hold there. So it takes a little bit of upper body strength because I want the leg to be nice and relaxed. We're holding that position and breathing. And we brought the knee as close to the chest as we can bring it. And then we let that leg come back down. Let's do the other side. So I'm grabbing behind the knee or below the knee. I've got a little bit of back support as I need, and I'm pulling that knee towards my chest, using my upper body strength and breathing. So this is working on our hip flexibility. And we need good hip flexibility to get in and out of a chair without using armrests. So let's practice that. The first thing that we're going to do is come closer to the edge of the chair. And we don't want our feet far away from us. That's going to be really hard to get up. So we're going to bring the legs pretty close. And I'll give you 2 different versions. Everybody's going to hinge forward. So we're hinging at the hips as far as we can. And we're moving the weight from our seat into our feet. So we hinge forward, the weight goes into the feet, and then we hinge ourselves back. We're going to hinge forward at the hips, so we need maximum hip flexibility. The weight goes from my seat to my feet, and I'm going to press down into my feet, and then I'm going to bring myself back. Let's keep repeating this. I'm hinging forward. For those of you that can, you're going to press into your feet and bring yourself right up to stand. Then you're going to hinge at the hips, send your bum back as the weight transfers from your feet to your seat. Hinge forward. If you need support of your hands, the hands can press into the thighs to bring yourself back up. And then hands come into the thighs again to give you support as you bring yourself back down to sit with control. If you don't need your hands, don't use them. So we're going to rely more on the strength of our glutes and our legs. And if you're doing the full squat, basically, some of you will get 3/4 of the way down, and then you'll kind of drop yourself the last little bit. What I want you to do, if that's happening, is find a pillow, and you're basically going to raise your seat up for yourself. So I just have a pillow here. I'm going to start in my same standing position. I'm going to hinge back at the hips, and then the pillow is going to raise the chair up so I don't have to go into as deep of a squat. It's going to help me to get up and down. Okay, so pillow is a good option for those of you that are having trouble controlling the whole movement. And then also just working on the hinge and pressing into the feet, and then bringing yourself back up. Shifting forward, working on your hinge at the hip, press into the feet. That can be a lot of work. Last one, hinge forward, press into the feet, rising up if you're able, and then hinging again, down to the seat, and up nice and tall. Let's do a few spine movements while we're here. I'm going to just shift my bum back a little bit, and I want to make sure when I'm doing my chair exercises that my feet are flat on the floor. So for some of you who may not be that tall, it might be helpful for you to put something on the floor just to raise it up so that the feet can be flat. Or when we're doing something sitting in the chair, if you need to scoot forward just a little bit extra to get the feet flat, definitely do that. Let's exhale as we curl into our cat stretch. And then inhale as we open the chest, just gaze straight ahead. And then exhale as you curl into your cat stretch again. Inhale as you open the chest, nice and tall for your cow. 2 more times, exhale for our cat stretch. Inhale for our cow, opening the chest, gently arching the spine. Last one. Very good. We're going to try a stretch for the hips. I'm going to turn the chair just so you can see a little bit better. And I'll give you a few variations that you can try. So I'm sitting tall, and what I want to do is see if I can bring one foot over the opposite knee and open this hip. Now, that might be very, very challenging for some of you because of the flexibility that's needed in this hip. So one thing that you could do if you're unable to do that action is have the legs straighter. So one leg is straight, and then I'm just going to work on crossing over, ankle over the opposite leg, but I'm just much lower. So you can see how I'm resting my leg or my ankle on the shin bone as I open this hip. Okay, then I'm going to come on out of it. I can try the other side. See if I can bring the ankle to rest on the opposite thigh and have this hip open. Some of you may look and feel like this, like everything's all bunched together. So we want to see if we can be tall through the body, open through the hip. And if that's not possible, I'm going to bring this leg down. I'm going to straighten the other leg a little bit more and then see if I can be like this. To make it a little bit harder, I'm going to bring that leg a little bit higher. Maybe I can be like that. So my straight leg is down, and I don't have to be in such a big stretch for the opposite hip. To make this more challenging, I'm just going to bend my other knee more, and you can see how that raises up the leg that's crossed over and requires a lot more flexibility for me. Okay, I'm going to let that leg come down. Let's try one more on each side. So to start with an easier version, I've got my supported leg down and a little more straight and just crossing the other leg over. If I want to make it more challenging, I start to bring that leg a little higher and to the point where maybe I can have the ankle over the knee. I'm still prioritizing the position of the whole body, so trying to sit up nice and tall. And then let's let that leg come down, supporting it as needed. And then we'll try the other side again. So crossing the top leg over the bottom leg, starting with the bottom leg a little more straight, then maybe bending it a little bit more, maybe bringing the ankle above the knee if able, and just taking some nice slow deep breaths in whatever stretch position you're in. 2 more breaths. And then we'll let that leg come back down. Okay, very good. So another little routine that you can work on at home. Lots of different options for standing versus seated. We want to make sure that we maintain a good tall position of the spine during all of the exercise and also focus on the importance of the breath. Thanks for joining us, and hope you can try out all of our videos.